Good morning, Zio here. And today I have the headphones on because we're going to listen to things. After you get your coffee, of course. We're going to be talking about Twitch's Trust and Safety Council. And in particular, this FerociouslySteph person. You know, probably know her as Dear Lady. Yeah, that's who we're talking about today. Because I wanted to do that, I guess, last week when things were going, but I didn't get around to actually sitting down and talking about it. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. That was actually going to be probably the video that I missed on Wednesday. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so now. Like the video, all that jazz, and let's get into it, shall we? So, first things first, the Trust and Safety Advisory Council. I want to go through all this, go through the people who are on it, and just in general talk about it, but I think I'm going to save that for tomorrow's video. I was wanting to do it first, but also I kind of want to knock out this Steph person thing first, because it is quite an interesting thing, to be totally honest, and it's going about as how I imagine it to be. Because, you know, if you've been around long enough and you happen to be a gamer who has the, quote, wrong opinions on life or whatever, or on the wrong side of history, all that good stuff, you're probably very well versed in the NPC SJW side of things and how they like to operate. They worm their ways into things and essentially take over, transform it, turn it into something that it's not, and completely destroy it while kicking out the actual fans of said thing and claiming that they're white supremacists or some strange ists or phobes or something like that because they don't want to adhere to their really weird, strange rules. And they gain power, and they get power hungry, and they want more, right? And this is just a classic example, seeing it play out in a very, very quick time compared to other things like, say, D&D and other stuff and comics and other locations where they've sort of done this slowly but surely and then just started changing things over time, and then stuff wasn't selling, and it's because of the ists, the phobes, and the supremacists and things like that, you know. So yeah, like I said, if you hadn't gotten your coffee yet, go ahead and get it now. Sometime this week, small minor update, my setting is changing. My desk is moving over there and hopefully I'll have some other things behind me, like a bookshelf and other doodads and things. So I'm looking forward to refixing the room, giving it a little bit more of the gaming vibe behind me, because I would like that, besides the one poster back there. But anyway, yeah, tomorrow I want to go ahead and take a look at the Safety Council here. But today we want to talk about this person here. Who is this person? They've got 22.3k followers on Twitch. They are a streamer. And they've been embroiled into a bit of controversy, I guess you can say. Why is this person important? If you've been living under a rock, it's because they are actually on this Trust and Safety Council. Which is why I want to go through this Trust and Safety Council and sort of take a look at the people on it. But this is her right here. She is a full-time streamer, and that's what she does. And she's got some interesting thoughts on gaming and gamers, which of course is one I want to talk on. So somebody please remind me if I don't talk about it and forget to the voice chat thing, because that is like the most asinine take I think I've heard in a long time. I mean, people are okay to have their own opinions, but really, voice chat isn't necessary? Come on now. Come on. I can tell you why. Or you know what, let's do that real quick. First, let's talk about voice chat for a second. This person says that voice chat is unnecessary. It is not inclusive. It hinders minorities and such. And I'm paraphrasing, right? Because I don't have the actual thing because I forgot to look that bit up. That was the other thing I was supposed to be looking for. Totally got lost because I had to go get coffee, and coffee is life. But, so voice chat isn't necessary. I beg to differ. Here's why. A lot of your esports games, because we're talking in the context of esports, by the way, if you unsure of what we're talking about. In regular just matchmaking and things like that, we have options like mute button, right? And apparently that is a cop-out or whatever. So I shouldn't have to open up a menu and press the X button to mute people because I'm too lazy to do that. Please. Like, I really want to say other words too, but I'm trying to keep things PG, for the algorithms and stuff like that. But anyway, apparently that, mute is just a cop-out and all that other good stuff, because that's the thing that I always hear, right? And I don't know if she actually said that or not. She might have made that argument at some point. I just don't remember, because I have actually seen that argument made by other people similar to her. Now, a lot of esports are team-based games. Are they not? That's a question. Are a lot of esports team-based games? Yes. The answer is yes. You have Heroes of the Storm. Well, you used to have Heroes of the Storm. This is not starting off very well, is it? But anyway, you've got Overwatch. Wow, now I can't remember anything. Most of the World of Warcraft stuff. How's that? You've got Arena Champions, Mythic Champion sets. You've got the single player, the ones that are not team-based are StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3. But there are a lot of other team, Dota, League of Legends, those are team-based. They require communication with your team. Now, I get the point that she's making. Voice chat is toxic because X people find out this, or they find out that I'm a girl or whatever, and then they start making things, or they talk smack and all this other stuff, because that's what happens, right? Talking smack is just part of sports in general. You talk smack about the other team or a player on the other team in an attempt to get them off their game. That's the whole point. It's a strategy. It's an actual legit strategy. Something that I don't expect somebody like Steph here to understand, because they don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, when it comes to the more single things, you don't really have a use for the voice chat or chat in general because you're not using it. Like Warcraft 3, StarCraft 2, it's you versus somebody else, and the only ones who are really doing any talking are the people who are commentating on it, right? The refs, things like that. Can't think of what they're called. I'm bad at this. Anyway, so this is going to be a very long video because I just glanced at the time and realized we're 9 minutes in. Anyway, so voice chat is essential for multiple things. On top of that, if you do have a disability, like maybe you're dyslexic. I'm dyslexic. I have a problem reading. My ability to read has gotten better since I started doing these things, because I do a lot of reading now. But at the same time, there are words that they form in my head. I know what they are, but I can't project them out or say them, and I'm very slow at it. So if you've got a fast team-based game where every second counts, one, you ain't got the time to type everything. It's easier to say I've got an incoming, or mid is MIA, than it is to type mid is MIA on your keyboard while also trying to do other things and kill the creeps and everything else, right? Trying to get those hits in and stuff. So there are reasons why voice chat is great. Also, if you're on a team, chances are your team members aren't smack talking you and you can't hear the other team. Duh. Anyway, so little rant off. Where's my coffee? You know what? Maybe we should just live stream this entire thing. It would have worked better. But Now, so here we go. We've got FerociouslySteph here, right? She's got her about thing, and she's on the Trust and Safety Council. The problem is that's an issue, right? This person does not instill any bit of trust and safety at all for anyone who is a dude or white at that point in time because of the things that she has said in the past. If you're anything else, you should be good, right? But let's just take a minute to listen for a second.
No, I'm just not cool with white supremacy, y'all. It's really not that. I think a lot of you gamers are actually white supremacists. Sorry. Just a fact of how I feel, which isn't a...
All right, there you go. Does that really feel like somebody who has your best interest at heart? When somebody on a site that was primarily designed for gaming and still is a major gaming streaming site comes out and says, yeah, by the way, most of y'all are white supremacists. That's just how I feel. It's a matter of fact of how I feel. Every single one of you. Every one of you. Really? That's where we want to go with? This is the kind of person you want to put on a Trust and Safety Council? Somebody who is supposed to be not dictating, but directing some things, say, hey, we've got issues here. We should work on it. Like the voice chat thing, what sparked all of this, by the way. It was the voice chat thing that sparked all this. And of course, if you're going to be on a safety council, it's one thing to have, really bad opinions. But it's another when you put somebody who everybody thinks has got some kind of power at this point, and they are now in that position of power, right? That's an issue. But this is exactly how I figured it would play out. Is this one here? Because now you've put this person who thinks she's in power. Everybody else thinks she's in some sort of power at this point, and this is when the power starts to go to your head.
Going anywhere. I have power. They can't take it away from me. And honestly, there are some people that should be afraid of me because I represent moderation and diversity. I'm gonna come for hurtful, harmful people. If you're a really shitty person, I'm gonna stand up against you. Period. And Twitch is endorsing me to do that. So.
Yeah, she's running around telling everybody that Twitch has endorsed her. They endorse her opinions. Twitch is 100% on board. There are people who should be afraid of her. Some people should be afraid of me. I'm going to assume all these people have a different opinion than you, and they're not as progressive or NPC or SJW-esque as your opinion, which is why they should be afraid. And that's a problem. When you got somebody on a council that is for trust and safety, which also leads me to question, what the fluff is the point to that dang council? Like, seriously, because of what Twitch says later. Why? What is even a point to this council? There's no need for it. It's a throwaway thing with throwaway titles that apparently don't mean anything. There's no point to it. But anyway, you've got somebody who's bragging about it, essentially going, look, there are people out there who should be afraid of me. There are people who should be worried that I have power, and they can't take it away. I have it. It's mine. There ain't jack they can do about it. Yeah, honey, this is not going to end well. Just saying. I mean, it's probably not going to end well for people like me, to be totally honest. She's probably not going to go anywhere just because of whatever it is that she is represents whatever it is that Twitch wants it to represent right now. But anyway, then of course, this you've got this here. The Safety Advisory Council had its first meeting today. I'm honored to be a part of the team, very glad to bring my voice and perspective to the council. It's been a hectic few days. I made comments that were taken out of context and sensationalized to not represent my role at Twitch, or that do not represent my role at Twitch. I am not Twitch staff. I understand how what I said was misinterpreted, and will continue to iterate on my communications to leave less room for misunderstanding.
And I'm not going anywhere. I have power. They can't take it away from me. And honestly, there are some people that should be afraid of me.
Remember, that was taken out of context and sensationalized. I have power. There are people who should be afraid of me. Taken out of context, people. Taken out of context. So how are we supposed to take that exactly? Just asking. What was that supposed to mean? I have the power! Come on. Seriously. This lady is asinine to the nth degree. Anyway, I'm empowered to have a voice, a platform, a community despite a deluge of harassment. I can exist and will continue to. Who cares? Like, seriously, nobody cares. You're going to exist. You have a total of, what, 22K? Nobody cares. You're going to have your people still there. They're still going to be there for you. Your simps or whoever it is who follows you or whatnot, they're still going to be there regardless. Anyway, I want to be clear that my role is not to moderate or address specific streamers or incidents. Well, it sounded like it. Again, can we go back to I have the power? You should be afraid of me. Come on. Anyway, I'll be offering my perspective and advice on issues, challenges, products, and policies more broadly. Am I excited to bring my voice to the table? Okay. Well, is this through the lens of every gamer is a white supremacist? Because, look, I know I have opinions, but I'm also realize that I'm one of the few people out there who are capable of thinking thinking about other things as well, right? Like, I guess you can call it fence sitting or something. I don't know. I see both sides of the arguments, and I can see where both sides are coming from. Even if my opinion disagrees with the other side, I still kind of understand where they're coming from, and then try to formulate a workaround or sort of come together to compromise. I understand that there's a lot of people out there who I wonder if they have that ability, especially on that side of the fence, because of the way that they go on and off on Twitter and other locations. If they even have that ability, they can't even do that in their videos or their streams or anything, where they can't even concede a point because theirs is the right side or whatever, when it's probably not, to be totally honest. It's not really taking in all voices. It's that whole dynamic of we have to be inclusive by excluding a certain set of group or a certain people, but that's still totally inclusive even though we're still excluding people. That makes no sense. Anyway, tangent aside, I've always fought for diversity and marginalized communities. I will continue to do so on this council and use my voice to advocate for, empathize with communities that are often silenced. How? I hear that argument all the dang time, but who actually silences these communities? Seriously, who does? That is a question that I really want answered. Who silences these communities? Who is often silencing them? And if you want to sit there and say the gamers with a capital G, I'm going to tell you to go fluff yourself, because that's bullshit, and you know it. Seriously, gaming is by far one of the most inclusive things out there. It's always been very inclusive. Nobody really cared if you were, with mental issues, or you were a dude or a girl or a turtle or whatever it is that you wanted to be. You enjoyed the game. You came together with a common purpose, and which is a big thing with the D&D space. Nobody cared. You know, we've had fat people, skinny people, men, women, boys, girls, whatever, you know, playing D&D before. You know, I've been in groups that just had different people in it. You know, nobody really cared whether or not you were black or white, or whether you were Asian or Latino, or anything like that. Nobody cared, because it's gaming. We're there for a common purpose, to enjoy the game, to roleplay, to have fun, to you know, build our characters and things like that. And the same thing for gaming as a wide thing. You know, people want to take this thing where, and then he questioned if I really played Halo. Oh my gosh, how dare he? Oh, you know, nobody wants to believe me. A lot of gamers do that. They do it to each other, for crying out loud. Seriously, like, it's just a way for us to gauge how knowledgeable you are with a particular product. If you actually are a big fan of it like you're claiming, you would definitely know the answers to these things. Or if you're not as versed in it as possible, you know, as it is, you know, these questions happen, and it's asked to both men and women. It's just these particular females here, these particular women like this, are the ones who take umbrage with that sort of system. You know, and it's like, oh, you know, you're a fan of Final Fantasy. Which ones have you played? How dare he? He's pushing me out of the industry. He doesn't. He's trying to silence me. Are you serious? Anyway, this is going on way too long. We're gonna finish this one up, and then we're gonna talk about the fallout from Twitch side tomorrow instead. How's that? That's what we're going to do. Or we're gonna be here for a good 45-50 minutes to longer. I think it needs to be just a straight up streamed podcast, I think, at this point, to go over everything in one gigantic video. But anyway, I believe in the Safety Advisory Council's mission, and I can bring a valuable perspective to it. I'm glad that Twitch wants to address some of the issues we see in the community. I am proud to be one of many voices that will contribute to us collectively having real impact here. Thank you. Okay, so that's another issue with this Trust and Safety Council, is she brings a valuable perspective to it. The problem is, her and everybody else brings the exact same perspective to this. That's the biggest issue. Every single one of these people, from what I have noticed, and I'm going to have to go through the council again just to double check, but in my opinion, most of these people bring the exact same perspective. They don't bring a new one. They don't bring anything else to the table. You don't see, like, how about this? You want to build a Trust and Safety Council, and you want to throw people in there. All right, you want to throw like 2 people in there. Here's my idea. Throw 2 people in there from the different major categories, right? Whatever they are, because I don't get on Twitch. I don't really know them all that well. But as far as I'm aware, there's at least 2 major categories. You've got just chatting, where people just talk about random things, and you have the gaming side. Now, if there's more, feel free to let me know. I don't play Twitch that often. I'm not on Twitch that often, so I don't really know the dynamics of the site too well. But I'm just going to go with, if those are the 2 main categories, right, for this example. You take 2 people from just chatting. You take a dude and you take a girl, right? That's 2 people. You also make sure both these people believe different things. You take one who subscribes to the ideology of SJWs and NPCs, and you take one who subscribes to the ideology of normalcy, just normal people. I guess those are labeled conservatives nowadays, for all I know, because everything that is left of the NPC ideology, from my perspective, seems to be labeled as alt-right or conservative or something like that these days. And my politics aren't that great, so, you know, if you can find one, of course. I don't know if there is any. You take those. This way you have 2 separate ideologies, 2 people from both spectrums of the political debate, and two people who are opposite gender of one another from that particular category. And you do the same in gaming, right? Or maybe if those are the only two categories, you break down gaming a little bit. You grab a couple of people from the MMO space. You grab a couple of people from the RTS space. You grab a couple of people from the FPS space who primarily do those kinds of games. So you grab a couple of Fortnite players or whatever, a couple of World of Warcraft players, and a couple of StarCraft players or whatever RTSs are big at the time, and you get people who have sizable audiences, not just, I don't know what sizable actually is on Twitch, to be totally honest. Maybe 22,000, 20,000, 3,000 is sizable for all I know. But if it's not, then you take two people from the opposite ends of the spectrum and different categories, right? This way, you've got a nice mixture of diverse opinions. Because right now, the council doesn't have that. It may have diversity in the way of skin color, or maybe a nice mix of males and females in there, but you have no diverse opinions. It's purely an echo chamber. Twitch, you do realize that you've made a giant echo chamber of people who are going to be asked their thoughts on things and how to make changes to the site to better reflect them and their audiences or whatever, but leave everybody else out in the cold. That's what's going on. Anyway, yeah, so let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. And we'll do part 2 tomorrow. And I don't know what else we're doing for the rest of the week. Yeah. So, I will talk to you in the next one.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And, of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.